Hello and shit, Ed here with a great topic for you today. Why it is so important to PCT after your steroid cycles. Alright guys, I tested some stuff out on myself. I just got live results. The lab work is back. I'm going to explain to you what I did, what worked, what didn't. So you don't have to try it out for yourself. I'm going to give you guys that information. Let's jump into it. Before we get started, as always, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you got any questions, drop them below. Anything you want to see in the upcoming videos, let me know. So let's just dive right into it. Why it is so important to PCT if you're coming off of a steroid cycle. This video is not going to go in depth about what a proper PCT protocol is. There's other videos explaining that. I made one of those actually if you want to go check it out. But this is going to be more geared towards the guys that are jumping on and off cycling steroids, not the guys that are blasting and cruising, where, you know, they'll blast for a couple months and then cruise at like a TRT dose for a few months. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the guys who, for their own specific reasons, me, myself included, would like to jump on a steroid cycle for a couple of months and then stop and get our bodies back to normal, running off of their own again. So, I'm going to give you two separate examples and we're going to go and check out why PCTing is so important. So, first example, this was my second steroid cycle. I'm going to outline it for you guys and give you the blood work here. So, my second steroid cycle I've ever done, I got blood work before the steroid cycle. This was back, I got the blood work done on October 6th, 2021. And my testosterone levels were at 560 nanograms per deciliter. Pretty respectable test level. I mean, very average. Normal is like 300 to 1,000 range. So my normal 560, that seems right to me. I got it checked a couple times. It's usually right around there. So after that, I started my steroid cycle. I did 10 weeks of testosterone. I did the TESTOSTERONE ester actually this time around because that was just happened to be the one I could get. I did it 600 milligrams a week for 10 weeks. The last day of my testosterone was December 25th actually. And I stopped cold turkey. I didn't taper off or anything. I was just taking 600 milligrams a week and then I stopped. Then I started my PCT about 16, 17 days after that. It was on January 13th. And for my PCT, I did the standard Clomid and Nova. I did 50, 50, 25, 25 of Clomid and 40, 40, 20, 20 of Nova. So my PCT ended on February 9th of 2022 and I got blood work 13 days later after my PCT and my testosterone levels were at 836 nanograms per deciliter. So, back that up, before taking any steroids, my normal testosterone was 560 nanograms per deciliter. I did my steroid cycle, came off, waited about 2 weeks or so, PCT'd for 4 weeks, and then 2 weeks later I got my blood taken, and my testosterone was almost 300 nanograms per deciliter higher than it was at the start. So, very effective PCT. It worked, it did its job, it got me right back to where I needed to be and then some. So my test was actually pretty damn high at that point. 800 is a very high test level, which good for me, I guess. Let's make muscles, you know? Anyway, we're going to compare that to this year. Now, slightly different scenario. I'm going to explain the details on how this differs from the last one. So, my most recent steroid cycle started on September 25th of 2022, and it lasted until January 6th of 2023. So this was 15 weeks total, a little bit more than 10 that I did last time, so a bit longer. 15 weeks, I did test enanthate at 470 milligrams per week, and I also did Primabol and enanthate at 300 milligrams per week. So lower amount of test than I did the last cycle, but more total gear when you add it up. And I also want to note that for this one, I tapered off. So for the last 2 to 3 weeks, I lowered the dosage less and less and less until I cut it out. So this is important to note because I think if I were to go back and do it again, I would have started my PCT much sooner. This time I started my PCT 20 days after my last steroid injection. Probably not a great idea looking back because I tapered off. So my body would have been ready for a PCT sooner. I, in my head, was thinking that I needed that enanthate ester to clear out of my system. So I waited 20 days after until I started my PCT. Anyway, I started my PCT on January 26th. Same protocol I followed last time. But this time around, I got my blood work taken 5 days into my PCT. I just happened to see my doctor and get some blood work taken. And I knew things were going to be off, but I didn't know how off they were going to be. Anyway, my blood work 5 days into my PCT showed that my testosterone was at a 74. A 74, guys. My normal is 560. And within those 20, how many days was it? I stopped on January 6th. And by January 31st, so 25 days later, my testosterone went from steroid cycle levels down to 74. All right, so good thing I didn't wait any longer to start my PCT. So hopefully things are on the rise again. I got some more blood work taken today. Today is February 10th. So I'm going to wait to see what those results are. That'd be good to know about 10, 11 days after that blood work that I just mentioned showing the 74 testosterone. So I'm kind of interested to see how fast this PCT works. So once I have those results, I'm going to post them and I'll make a separate video about that. But that should just make you guys aware how important a PCT is. Typically, your body won't bounce back and start making its own testosterone and semen and everything. Your body won't kick back on after a steroid cycle for like 3-4 months usually. So my first steroid cycle that I mentioned was a perfect example of why you should PCT, because 6 weeks after my last steroid injection, my testosterone dropped down, I did my PCT, and it went right back up to past my normal levels. So the PCT was very effective. 6 weeks is a lot less than 3 or 4 months. PCTs are important. Boom. This time around, a 74. That's low. I should have caught that sooner. Anyway, I'm PCTing now. I didn't lose a whole lot of gains. I think I'm still looking pretty solid. So even though I had some low testosterone for a few days here, I think we're going to be okay. The PCT is in full effect. So that is my little PCT, do your PCT spiel to you guys, because it's important. Don't just stop your steroids cold turkey and expect that you're going to be fine, because you're not. It's going to take months to recover once you drop that testosterone down to 0 after you come off a cycle. So if you got any questions, let me know. That's all I got for you today. I just want to tell you how important it is to do a PCT. If you feel like you want to do some steroid cycles, then you got to stop at some point, all right? That's it. Bye-bye.